Welcome to another episode of Fuente and Meerapfel present Meet the Professor. Hello, world.
Hello.
Hello.
Hello, hello.
Hello.
Today we have a unique guest of honor, mythical, grandiose, monumental, the one and only fifth generation family business, probably the largest premium cigar tobacco producer on the planet, no other than the one and only Mr. Nestor Andres Plasencia. Welcome to the show.
Thank you very much. Thank you. It's an honor being with you guys. Thank you for the invitation. It's my pleasure. My father sends best regards to all of you. I just saw him in the morning. So thank you very much.
Well, we're more than honored to have you on the show, Nestor. And, well, Professor, get to work.
Nestor Andres, like Jeremiah said, your family's well known worldwide. I remember an article that our friends from Cigar Aficionado wrote one time. If you have smoked a premium cigar, it doesn't matter where it's made, probably 90% of the cigars made have at least half a leaf of tobacco from Nestor Plasencia. So it's been, I know you guys very well. When Em and I used to live in Nicaragua, you always very nice to us. We could get anything we wanted there. But let's talk about really you guys, the Plasencia family, the fifth generation. So I do a lot of research.
Yes? Professor. Sorry
the Papo del Humo.
We got Carlito on the line. Welcome, Carlito.
I can't see myself. I don't know if you see me or not. I can't find these little buttons. But anyway, I'll figure that out. But I don't want the show to continue I don't send a big virtual hug to Nestor Andres. I've known the Plasencia family. I was a very, very young man. I remember in the 70s going to Nestor Sr.'s home for a birthday with Beto Calderon one day. It's just an incredible family. You know, they're known for their integrity, their hard work. They have a reputation and no one works harder. But they're just great, honorable family. And Nestor, it's such a huge honor to have you on the show. I'll try to figure out the technical stuff but it's always a great pleasure, man. And it's a huge honor to have such a prestigious tobacco family of so many generations who have given their heart, sweat, and tears to this industry and for the love of the leaf. So I want to thank you very much for your time.
It's an honor. It's an honor to be part of this. I really appreciate what you guys are doing, and thank you from my father. Also, send best regards. I talked to him in the morning, and I said, I'm gonna be with all these amazing guys this morning, and said, send all these guys a big hug. So, and all your listeners and viewers, thank you very much. Thank you very much for being in love of this beautiful industry that brings some great moments, especially in these days. So we're very honored and blessed to be in this amazing industry, all of us together.
Thank you, Nestor Andres. So, like I was saying in the beginning, I mean, the word Plasencia, if you're a cigar smoker, one way or the other, you've had you've smoked some cigar that has your tobacco. But let's go to the beginning. I research a lot. 1865, your great-grandfather, I guess, Don Eduardo Plasencia, from Canary Islands goes to Cuba, San Luis. So talk a little bit about that to us.
That was the beginning of this love story with the tobacco and the Plasencia family. Started in 1865 when Eduardo Plasencia came from Canary Island to Cuba to start growing tobacco. The Canarios, they were known for the good farmers in the island because they have a very small plots of fields, so they have to be very efficient to grow whatever crop in that small crop of field. So they moved to Cuba. There was a lot of immigration during those days, especially people from Canary Island that started in the tobacco industry in Cuba. So Eduardo Plasencia was one of them. start and go and find the best lands that was in the island, which was the area of Vuelta Abajo, which is San Luis Pinal del Rio in Cuba. Then that was my first uncle to my great grandfather, Eduardo. So my great grandfather came also from Canada Island to Cuba and started working with his uncle as a second generation. So they start growing tobacco. They start growing the business. They start expanding the farms. In 1898, my great grandfather started his own farm. So in the farm in Corojal, and they start growing little by little. And then out of hard work, they've been known for great tobacco growers, growing tobacco for the main brands in Cuba during those days. Then my grandfather and his brothers gain into the business, into the family business, expand the business. The family business known as Hijos de Sixto Plasencia. So Sixto Plasencia son. So my great grandfather was Sixto, and my grandfather was Sixto as well. So they start growing tobacco, you know, and improving the business, growing the business. And after the Cuban Revolution, that was when my dad was 15 years old, and it's when they had to move from Cuba to Nicaragua.
Yeah, I think the year, from what I read, 1963, your grandfather was supposed to go to Jamaica. Then all of a sudden he decides to go to Mexico, and then some hardship, then he goes to Nicaragua, correct?
Exactly that. They had a visa to go to Jamaica because Jamaica was starting the growing plantation. But that company got bankruptcy before they go out of the island. Imagine that. So they have the ticket to go out of the island because the government already took all the farms and all the business and everything, and they have a visa to go out, but they couldn't go out because there's no any jobs over there. So they said, you know, I'm gonna go no matter what. I don't have any jobs, I don't have anything, but I cannot live here. I take my family. They moved to Mexico. They stayed from Mexico for about 15 to 20 days. And they waiting for a visa to Honduras. They went to a visa because Honduras and Nicaragua were starting the tobacco industry because of the lack of tobacco that was in the American factories because they don't have the Cuban tobacco, looking for different sources. So they went to Honduras. My father told me that they went to Danlí in 1965, June 1965. Imagine the rain. It was raining, no roads. The road from Tegucigalpa to Danlí was mountain, all cliff, in a bus because they didn't have anybody to pick them up at the airport. That was something really, really amazing. And they move and they live near the cemetery in Danlí for 15 days. And my grandmother was so scared because she see all this funeral for little babies dying from, you know, diseases and all the stuff. So they were so worried because of their children. So my father was 15 years old, and my uncle was 14 years old. So it was a very tough time for them. But of all of a great name, everybody knows Sixto Plasencia as a great tobacco man, and as an honest man, as a man of his word. He received two job offers in Tegucigalpa when they come, and he received a higher salary for the second one, but he get the first offer because he already gave his word. And those are the things that I've been raised, you know, seeing, listening to all these stories and all the integrity. You know, your word is even. There's nothing more important than your word and all this stuff. And I have the blessed to was born in a family that teach us values, you know, which is the most important thing in life.
I think one of the people that offered your father the job was Don Angel Oliva.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And he was the second offer with a higher salary because they knew each other from Cuba. But he already committed to another company in Danlí. that was opening an operation in Nicaragua. So they stayed for 15 days in Danlí, and then they moved to Esteli. Imagine Esteli also in 1965. There were just two paved roads in the center, and they have to go from Esteli to Jalapa because the job is in Jalapa, no bridges. The stories, no electricity in Jalapa. They have to go with a generator, no clean water. They have to bring the clean water to the home. They stayed. My father and my uncle stayed in Esteli, while my grandmother and my great grandfather stayed in Jalapa during the week. Amazing, good times. And
From what I understand, actually, he was the first Cuban to go to Esteli, correct?
Well, actually, there were other Cubans that came before my grandfather, but actually was the first family. The first family means husband, wife, and children.
Okay.
Because most of the other guys lives in Miami, and they come to Nicaragua to work. But the family were in. But my grandmother said, we're gonna stick together no matter what. The family have to be together, so they stayed all of them were together. So that was the first family who actually came to Esteli.
So going forward a bit, and this is something that unfortunately both you, your family, and Carlito's family went through. We have the revolution.
Mm-hmm.
Daniel Ortega and his guys take power. They take everything over. You guys lose everything. De Fuente lose everything. Mm-hmm. So both families, and Carlito will have something to say about this because it's very important to people understand when you're persistent and you have tobacco and your honesty and you have a dream, because many times Don Carlos and your grandfather and your family could have said, the hell with this, but you guys continue. I want to hear your thoughts about that.
Yes, there were times. I love to talk to my grandmother, who I have the blessing to have it with us. So one of the things that I love the most in my life, to spend time with her. And she was telling me all the stories because she had more time to tell it and remember. And he remembered the days when they were nothing when they started the diseases, when the blue mold came, all the same, when they moved from Honduras, from Nicaragua to Honduras to start all over. You make one good crop, and then a disease came and destroyed everything. When not in your country, with bank loans, with a dream that you have, and then the disease came, and they say, I'm doing all the best. It's nothing that is in my control, but what I have in my control is I can never quit, because if I quit, I will disappoint people who trusted in me. There's stories. My father, when he moves to them, this is the story from my grandfather to my father. My father took the business, and when they moved to Honduras and everything, my grandfather was helping him. And in 1981 is when the blue mold came, destroyed all the plantations in one day. My father told me the story that it said his father, my grandfather, came and said, "Son, we have a big problem. This is a disease that I saw in Cuba that destroyed the plantations in the 50s. And my father said, you don't know, that might be something, we can use some fungicide and we can kill it. The next day, both of them went to the field, and 100% of the crop was destroyed. 100% of the crop was destroyed. So imagine that. So they started the next year, they started to grow tobacco again. And then the year after, my grandfather passed. Imagine my father, how was his feeling with a new country, with a lot of problems, and his best friend passed away. Wow, it's give me goosebumps, because I remember my dad, the sadness. I was just 8 years old. I was very close with my grandfather as well, that he took me to the farms, and I learned a lot from him. So, But he never quit, never quit. He started growing tobacco. People said, my uncle, he moved to Miami. He's a surgeon in Miami. He said, brother, you're working so hard. You know, it's nothing that you can do, but this is the disease that is from nature. You cannot control that. And he said, no, I can control this little thing because I have still a small percentage of tobacco that I can save. And I'm going to work for that. And I'm going to pay all the loans. My father have a huge debt with the banks during those days, but he never quit. He never said, and have all the collateral out from the banks, the farms and everything. But he said, all these people trust in me and I'll never put them down. And he started working. Sometimes, Jose, we didn't have the money to pay the electricity bills, but the people always get the payroll every week, you know, and I remember those days. That they said it's more important because that's sacred. We can figure it out, you know, we can see it, but these people live with the money that we pay them every week. So those are the stories that have been raised. And I think that, and we will never forget that, you know, and we learned that we have to be grateful also for those hard work, because if we wouldn't be for those hard times, we wouldn't be in the position that we are right now, because we learn from those attitudes. The most successful companies in the world have been funded in the crisis moment. So, you know, we are part of that. We know how it feels to be at the bottom. And those days you will never have to forget, because that makes you humble. That makes you that you can lose everything tomorrow. You know, who never knows what's going to happen, but you will never lose your integrity. That's something that nobody can take away from you.
Carlito.
You know, I have goosebumps. You know, I listen to the story. I've heard it many times, even to the difficult times. And, you know, in the 80s with the Blue Mode, I mean, everybody talking to John Oliva and everybody was concerned. I mean, things, Nestor had a lot of plantations and, you know, the whole crops everywhere. And, you know, there was difficulties with wrappers and so forth. But, you know, you hear the story and all that. And, you know, when we were in Nicaragua, we had a partner, the Futicieria and Bermejo. And it was, you know, it was a small factory, but the Plasencias, they had, you know, big operations, you know, farming and everything. And what they went through, it, you know, and like Nestor Andres says, you know, it was a perseverance and so forth, and their commitment to their people. You know, it's a characteristic, it's a value, which is today very rare in human beings. And still today, the Plasencias have a reputation. Nestor's mom and his father and everything, they have a reputation that you hear all around, and that they give so much to their community. They do so much for the community, for the people. And as he says, you know, that's the way we were raised. I mean, I don't know if it comes from los isleños de Isla Canaria, or it comes from where it comes from the fields of Cuba, but it's a way of life that you share and you give, and you know, it's so gratifying to hear this story, you know. And Nestor, you're so lucky to have your grandmother that you can hear these stories, because these are stories that you're going to pass on to your grandchildren. And these are the values that so many people in the industry, the Meerapfels, the Olivas, you know, the Perez, you know, the Plasencias, and so many other, you know, they hold on together to difficult times because of family and their commitments to others. And I think that's something that's, you know, inbred into us. But your story is amazing. Your father's story is amazing. Well, since I was a little boy in Ybor City in Tampa, you know, you hear great names in the industry. And the name Sixto Plasencia is a name that I learned as I was very young, listening to conversations of the great tobacco man, without, at that time, have known your grandfather. And, you know, it's Sabino Plasencia, you know, that he was one of my mentors. The Plasencia family all over. I mean, it's, you know, the cousins, all of them, their extended family. They got a lot of bloodline in the tobacco industry. They're all, you know, they're all old school. and, come from strong family values. And it's very admirable, Nestor. It's very, very admirable. And, I just pray and wish you luck, man, that those days that your father went through and you as a young boy, that we don't have to see those days again.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much. And also, all your family story, Carlitos, it's an inspiration as well. The Meerapfels, the Perez, that you said, we've been through very, very hard times, but we'll always be truthful for our roots, and for the commitment for the people, the commitment for the community. That's so important. We've been so blessed, I think, even though we have been through all these hard times, but we have to share all this blessing with the people that help us in the position that we are right now. And you're a great example for that. So congratulations for that, and be so passionate about this industry, bringing some people in, new generations also that fall in love with your cigars. It's a big inspiration for me since I was a little young guy, and I've been blessed to be surrounded by titans in this industry that taught me a lot. And I still have a lot of things to learn, but I love it in every second of my life.
Nestor Andre, today you're the icon. You're the one to look up to today, and you've earned it. You've earned it, and you're a big contribution to the industry, to everything. Your family, your tradition, your dedication. You could be somewhere else, and you could be anywhere you choose in the world, and live any way you like in the world. Yet you are true to your passion, to your heart, to your tradition. You're a tobacco man, and a hell of a good one at that, if not the best.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it. I love to be close to the farms and the factories. I live in Esteli with my wife and my kids, and I'm blessed to live in this. I love my city. I was actually born here, and I stay here, and I was raised in Denli. So I cannot change any history of my life for anything. And I'm very blessed. I'm very, very blessed. Thank you.
Nestor Andres, without a doubt, you and your family have made cigars for a lot of people, major companies, smaller companies, boutique companies. So how difficult is it to deal with so many, because you're doing for 10, 20, 15 people for many years? How really hard is it to deal with all these guys, and they want this, they want that? For you guys, how hard is it?
I cannot say it's hard because everybody has what they want. We're just part of the team that help them put them things together. When we make a brand for our friends, that we're very honored for them to trust their brand on our hands, is because they have already an idea of a blend. So they come with a blend. We show what we have. If we don't have any tobacco, we bring tobacco in from Cameroon, from Dominican, from United States, from Colombia, wherever the blend they wanted. So we work together with them. But it's you have to go see what they want. We have a great relationship with all of them. It's an open communication. We present the tobaccos that we have, and start try and error. But most of the times they're the one to pick the blend, to pick the packaging, to pick everything that they want for their blend. So we just part of the process to help them to get the best that they can have.
Let's go forward a little bit more. For years, you guys have been making cigars. You had your brands, but all of a sudden, and I have to be honest with you because everybody knows I smoke everything from everybody. I smoke Alma Fuerte. And when I smoke it, I said to myself, and I'm being as honest as possible, this tobacco, I know it's all from Nestor, but this has to be at least 4 to 5 years old, because this is totally different from anything that I've smoked from Nestor. Tell us a little bit about the inspiration for you guys to really come out with a cigar that, in my opinion, is phenomenal.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Coming from you, that means a lot, Jose. We have, we are vertical integrated. We are tobacco growers, tobacco processors, cigar manufacturers, but we were missing the best part of the connection with the final consumer. We want all the things that we have learned from all these generations to be in the cigar, in a line of cigars that reflects what we think is something that we control 100%, and the connection with the final consumer that we were missing, because we were making cigar for Rocky, for Alec Bradley, very happy, for making for Nat Sherman, Crocs. I love all these guys, but then they go to make the events and this and that. Sometimes I go to, and I see, the camaraderie. I see people faces enjoying cigars. I see how the people, you can change people's day with a great cigar. And I said, we were missing that, so we need that connection, because everything that we do is for that specific moment, It's when you start growing the tobacco, seeing that this tobacco that I'm seeing in the field is gonna be in a tobacco. For example, Alma Fuerte's 10-year-old tobacco that we use in that blend in order to have it, something elaborated and complex. And the other thing is that we have a story to deserve to be told, not for ego, it's not something because we accomplished this, we accomplished that. It's because the thing that we just talked about, all the hard times, all the resilience, you never quit, never give up. I think it deserves to be told, for people get like an inspiration that when you have a dream, never quit, never give up, because you will find the way no matter what the circumstances that you have, you will find the way. So we've been through that. And I think, and I respect my dad so much, and I love him so much, and I'm so blessed to have him every day of my life with him at his side, learning from him. Well, the story of my grandfather, my great-grandfather, all the things that he had. So I think that story deserves to be told. And the final connection with the final consumer, what I'm loving it so much. This is something that we screwed up, it's 100% on us. If the people don't like the blend that we come, it's 100% on us. It's nothing else. It's the Plasencia family with the amazing team that we're working together here. So the packaging, you don't like it, you don't like one of ideas, it's 100% on us. And if you like it, it's 100% on us, together with the amazing, talented team that we work with for many, many years. So that's why, and one of the elements that we just use for the cigars that carry the Plasencia name on is the organically grown tobacco. I'm a farmer. I'm agronomist. I went to the university to study agronomy. So I love farming. I love to be in the fields, because it's the way that you can see what kind of nutrition you give to those plants when you harvest those leaves. How many days those tobacco was in the curing barn? You go to a curing barn, you open that barn and smell that, man, that's amazing. And I experience that every day. So in the order to that we grow the tobacco, that we see from which fields this tobacco grow and everything, that put it the way that we can grow organically grown tobacco. And all the cigars that have the Plasencia name have or 100% or some leaf in those blends. And I think, that's for me, that's the way that we grow the tobacco. That takes a lot of years to develop. We're still learning, and we're still learning every day. But I'm very proud of that, because that was my first project when I get out of the university, the agricultural university in Honduras.
Nestor, I'd like to ask you a question. I feel that I know the answer. I know what you're going to say. But I want the audience to hear it and to hear from you. What segment of the industry do you love the most, and what do you consider yourself? A tobacco farmer, above all, a tobacco farmer, a tobacco processor, or a cigar maker? And if there's any way that you could differentiate, because I know that
Yes, yes, for sure, for sure. I love them all. All of them are so excited. You can see learning from every of the division of the segment of the tobacco industry. I'm passionate about it, but my heart is definitely at the fields. I'm a farmer. I'm a farmer by heart, but I love the fact that I'm a farmer because I can see how the tobacco is grown, how the tobacco, you know, we're experimented with different varieties. We make crossbreed. So we see the difference in the shape of the leaves, you know, the difference in the resistance to disease, the difference of the same variety in different locations. I experience that by day. It's amazing. And then I have the blessing to see those leaves in the fermentation process when you select it, how high you put the pilon, how you allow the temperature. You know, you allow high temperature, medium temperature, you flip it. Amazing, amazing. And then you put it, you blend it, you age the tobacco. I open the bells. I just been in the aging room, open the bells. That smell, man, that smell. You cannot describe those smells on the aging room. It's amazing. And then when you put everything, all the steps that you've been working and putting together in a cigar, wow. And you've been a witness of all this process. Oh my God, that is amazing. That is amazing.
And now to take it even further, you go to a cigar event and everybody wants to see you and you're able to hug them and share stories. That is the complete cycle. That's the complete cycle of life.
That's the complete cycle. That's the complete cycle. And when I listen to people's reaction when the cigar that we make, that we've been part of that since the very beginning. That is my, you know, there's few things in life that make me happy to listen to all these comments. You know, I celebrate the baptism of my child with your cigars. Wow. You know, those things, you know, my wedding, I did a great deal and I celebrate with your cigars. Or just I have a bad time at work. I was stressed out. I stopped by with the cigar shop. I light up one of your cigars and it changed my day. I went to home. I love my wife. I love my kids. So I said, oh my God, we even saving marriage, you know, family.
Great.
Those are the things that are amazing.
So true, so true, very true.
It's a great feeling, and we were missing that, Now we have it together with we're four, you know, and my sister and my two brothers. We're all in the family business, managing finance. One, Gustavo, the other Jose Luis is managing the distribution in the United States. My sister, she's managing all the social responsibilities program that we have. And, you know, we sit down and said, the challenge of our generation, of fifth generation, is to tell the story and to be close to the final consumer. So this is what we want. This is what we envision. And we're working hard for that. And we love it. And we love it every aspect. We're loving it, every aspect of it, every day. Despite the circumstances, we're living in a hard times. We cannot deny it. But we try to focus on the great things that nobody talk about it. But there's amazing, great things every day. Since we just open our eyes, that's a blessing by itself. And now what am I gonna do with the blessing that God gave me for the next 24 hours? That's on us. But He already gave you the blessing to open your eyes. So those are the beautiful things in life. And we're so blessed and grateful for that, and for the family that we have.
God bless you. Absolutely.
Thank you.
Well,
Jeremiah?
Well, I'm speechless. I'm listening to a gentleman that I've known for a few years, and I've always known he was a gentleman and he had his heart in the right place. But this is truly a testimony to the world, and particularly to me. I'm very humbled, Nestor, and listening to you is beautiful.
Thank you, Meerapfel. Thank you, Jeremiah. Appreciate it.
Nestor, when I went to Nicaragua for the first time, we had heard talk about tobacco from Ometepe. Even though I had smoked it, but I didn't have so much access. So when I was at Hoya, because at that time we heard it was only for one company, and maybe if you were very close, you could get it. The tobacco is very unique. In my personal opinion, this is just my personal opinion, it's a tobacco to use in a blend, depending on the size, half a leaf, maybe on a bigger ring gauge, maybe 3/4 of a leaf. It's very unique. It's very different from Condega, from Jalapa, from Esteli. In your opinion, what makes the tobacco from Ometepe so unique? A lot of people say, I'm not an agronomist, that is the volcanic soil. Tell us a little bit about that, because a lot of people tell me, you've got to ask this question to Nestor Andres.
Thank you. Thank you. Yes, 100%. Tobacco, it's so magnificent plant that the same area, you move it to one location to another location, one terroir to other terroir, it will give you different tastes, different aromas, different sensations. Ometepe by itself, it's amazing. It's a small island in the Lake Nicaragua, one of the biggest freshwater lakes in Latin America, with the two volcanoes. So that small island is the shape with an 8 and have a volcano in every circle of the 8. So that gave the amount of richness on that soil. We in order to control their soil, we did a whole calicata. I don't know the word in English, but where you see the perfil de suelo. How can you say that? The shape of the soil in the different stratus and the different depths. So we do that whole. In Esteli, you maybe have like 30 centimeters of soil, and then you start seeing, the rocks and stuff like that. Jalapa, you have like 20 centimeters of soil. But in Ometepe, when you do that, you have meters down of great soil. So the richness of the soil, it's unbelievable. And also the altitude and the microclimate that surround the tobacco that you're growing. So those are the things that make the tobacco of Ometepe that special. Something that you can that you cannot find in any other place in Nicaragua, to talk about the Nicaragua. So that tobacco in the past, we were very cautious about how you're gonna blend it, because it's what's very dominant. You put a leaf, as you said, a quarter of a leaf, and then you can control the blend can go from this size instead to be rounded and complex. But we said, we're gonna try different. We're gonna try and error. Let's see what happened over here. So we said we're gonna put more than 50% of Ometepe in a blend. We're gonna give an homage of Ometepe, and we're gonna call it Alma del Fuego, soul of fire. So we were with a fire in our souls to create this blend. And we start try and error, but we age the tobacco. As Carlitos always said, you can never rush the time of the tobacco, and it's so true that when you're patient, when you have the time, when you not rush anything, you're gonna have amazing results. So we aged the tobacco for 7 years, and we put the tobacco, we blended with a sun-grown wrapper from Jalapa, and we call it frying from the sun and from the earth. So that's his Alma del Fuego. And I truly love the results of that. We get bold, something that at least we haven't done it, but it's more than 50% of the blend come from Ometepe in that cigar.
Very nice.
It's interesting, and we all talk about what companies do, and we respect. And like I told you in the beginning of this show, this is not about promoting brands or anything. This is something that when we're gone and the new generations come in, we want them to see this interview, the one with Benji, the one with Ernesto, with Gordon, George Brightman, Liana, Cynthia, and still people that we're going to bring in. And to have you, that I've known you for a long time, and your father even for more, to hear from the heart. And like I said before, in this panel right now are 3 families that have been successful, that have gone through hell and come back. Because we heard the Fuente story, we've heard your story, but also the Meerapfel family, to lose it all just in one day and come back and be one of the greatest growers of my favorite rapper in the world tells you a lot. But it's basically, I look at it three things. It's the tradition, the family, the honor, and the will to continue through hardship and be successful. Because without the Plasencias of the world, without the Fuentes of the world, without the Meerapfels of the world, would the world be the same? We gotta face it. It would not be the same. Because whether you like a Fuente or don't like it, or you don't like Cameroon, or you don't like Plasencia, there's hundreds of thousands of people worldwide that have recognized those three families. So to me, it's an honor for Carlito, for Meerapfel, and for a lot of people that are listening to the show. I get goosebumps because I get emotional sometimes because I think I'm the oldest here. Well, Rich Meiberg is older than me. He's like 107. But it's 5-year difference is a lot. But to me,
yeah, but I
listening,
got miles ahead of you.
but to me, listening to Jeremiah, to Carlito, and the people we've had on this show, to me, it's an honor, it's a pleasure. And to be honest, sometimes it has brought tears to my eyes. So, Jeremiah, you got to say something. I'm a mess.
Well, Nestor, I don't know if you've watched many of these shows, but I can tell you one thing. What's happening today is very special because you shut me up, which doesn't happen very often. And you're bringing tears to the eyes of the professor, which hasn't happened very often either. And Carlito's being relatively quiet in the background as well. So there's something you're doing and you're saying, which is putting a lot of emotions into this session and into the different, into everybody's hearts, which is listening to you. So I'll try to continue. Tell us more. What's the future for Plasencia?
Well, the future, many things. We have the desire first to continue learning. It's every crop. It's a learning. Every situation is a learning experience, and we want to keep learning, to keep absorb what we can from this beautiful industry. Continue the best that we can. Continue to help people on the way. I think that's very important for us, and continue to be passionate about what we're doing and helping people on the way. You know, I think and I hope this industry brings also new people with new ideas. I think this is something that I have a space for everybody. When you do the right thing, there's a space for all of us. And I want to see more people came here with ideas that we never thought, you know, so we can keep learning from the younger guys that will come to this industry. I hope it's not so regulated, that we can still have new bloods and new scenes that we never thought about it and never imagined, because people can come with amazing ideas, and the only thing that they can do, if they do with the right intentions, it's gonna expand the pie, you know. So the pie is gonna be bigger, and more people will know about what the benefits to enjoying a great cigar will be to their life. I think, you know, we help a little bit the people to have a better life, even though for a small moment. And the people that work here, you know, I think we changes a lot of people's life as well. So, but I want to see more young guys and more new ideas in this amazing industry for the years to come.
You have 4 beautiful children, if I'm not mistaken. The day you're going to sit them down and give them advice on keeping the flame burning, what would be the most important lesson you would want them to remember?
I want them, what I envision for my kids is that all of them gonna be good people, good human beings. It's the only thing that I envision for them. because I know if they're good human beings, they're gonna be happy. Whatever the path they choose. You know, I will do the same thing that my dad did. I take me to the farms, but never push me. You say you have to do this. You know, this is family industry. You have to be part of the family. Never in that way. You know, if you like it, this is what we have. If you love it, you have to work hard because this is not easy. You have to work a lot of hours. But I always like it, so I didn't have that. But I will never push it because I want them to be truly for themselves and follow their heart. But I have a big hope that one of them is going to continue with even though my children's, my nephews or something, but the tobacco is in the blood. But whatever they choose, you know, I will respect them because I want them to be the best human beings that they can be and follow their heart.
Beautiful, Nestor. Nestor, I just want to add that when I asked for you to be on this show, it was with so much respect, but I anticipated and I felt in my heart, knowing you and listening to you and knowing your father, and I just anticipated that these will be the exact words that we will hear from you. And this sentiment runs so strong in all of us, the old tobacco families, about our responsibilities with everybody that's around us and our love, our passion, and even so much, you know, with our children. It's this is a very difficult world and you have to be in love with it. So the main thing for our children to be happy. And, you know, I know that I'm a generation older than you, but you may be a generation wiser than me. But all your words are, you know, it's priceless. And I congratulate you, man. I congratulate your family, your mother, your grandmother, and everyone for raising you the way they did. And, you know, I know that Richard Meerapfel taught me something once, that the apple doesn't fall far from the tree. And your humbleness, aside from your skills, which have been proven, you know, for so many years now, your humbleness, your dedication, we are blessed to have you in our industry. And I see you as somebody that I only pray the very best for generations to come, for your brands, for your company. We need more Nestor Andres Plasencia in the industry. And you're absolutely right. And we need for families or for people to have the, you know, the drive, the passion to be able to come into the industry and, you know, and come with new ideas and everything. And it's like you said, you know, this is one beautiful and great neighborhood. And the only thing we ask is for our neighbors to respect and to work hard and do great things for the consumers.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it. Thank you.
Nestor, we have a tradition in the show. It's called Melanie's Hotspot. She always has one or two questions, and she's going to start shooting. Melanie.
Ooh, this is going to be fun. Okay. Hi, Nestor.
Hi, Melanie.
So I have a good question. What is the most embarrassing moment in your cigar career?
Embarrassing moment in the cigar career. Oh my God. That's a tough one.
It's a hot spot.
I will answer for sure. I was in Dominican Republic. I'm a Guajiro, you know, I'm from Esteli. And I was cigar dinner and this and that, and I asked for a dessert. Yeah, something that I never asked before. I was very young. And I said, give me a tiramisu. I remember now. and then I have a limoncello. And then I tried the limoncello. I said, this is a great tiramisu. You know, I didn't know what a tiramisu was back then. Everybody's telling me, oh my God, I'm a Guajiro from Esteli, but I learned what a tiramisu was that day.
Let me tell you something, Nestor. When I have too many limoncellos, I finally think it's a tiramisu as well. All right. We're also going to pull on, let's see here. Let's get Rich. Rich is gonna fill in for Benoit. It's now called Rich is Baked. Rich, you're online.
Thanks. It's me, El Viejo. I'm not quite 100, Jose, but you know, I won't be 74 for another 6 weeks or so. But it's fun being here with you kids. Okay. Guy goes into his doctor's office He's been waiting for an hour outside like you usually do. And he finally gets to see the doctor, and the doctor says, how can I help you? He says, well, doc, I do everybody, specialists and everything, and nobody can help me with my speech. The doctor says, well, looks like you've got a normal life. Looking at your records here, you have a great social life. You're great in business. Everything seems to be fine. So it doesn't seem that it's psychological. Maybe it's physical. Why don't you get undressed behind the counter there and put on a robe and come out? And the guy comes out and he says, okay, let's take a look. And he opens up his robe, and this guy is hung kind of like a mule. And the guy says, well, that's your problem. Your penis is so large that it is weighing down on your vocal cords and causing you to stutter. The guy says, what can we do about it? The doctor says, well, we've got these new microsurgeries. We can take a section out of the middle there and put it back together, and you'll be more like a normal size. Okay, doc, let's try it. Well, they do the surgery, and about 6 months later, the guy comes barging into the doctor's office and says, doc, I know we did this surgery. My voice is normal, but I've lost my business, my social life. I can't even get a date. Can we finally do something? Can we put it back? And the doctor goes, fuck you.
Oh,
all right.
That was fantastic. We loved it, Rich. Wonderful. Wonderful, but was not coming back. Thank you very much, Rich.
You're welcome.
All right.
Nestor, Andres, one last question, because from me, I know there might be a couple of others. In all the years, with all the success of the family, and we've asked this to a lot of people, there's a moment that you will remember till you're 110. So far, in all the business dealings and all the tobacco you've made and blended and awards and all that, if you have to take one moment, what is a moment during your life that you will remember for the rest of your life? I know the kids are important in marriages and all that, but I mean, related to business, what is something that you will remember for the rest of your life?
IPCPR 2017, together with my father, my brother, my sister, presented the Plasencia line to the world. That for me was an amazing to see the Plasencia stand, you know, the Plasencia name over there, that people come and those the first, some of the first interactions with the retailers. I met a lot of retailers that show. I still remember that. We have pictures of all the family hanging, you know, we're proud. I remember the smile in my dad's face, and for me was, wow, together with his sons, and you know, that was amazing. I will never forget that day.
Very nice.
Thank you.
Nestor, you're a gentleman, one of the greatest tobacco growers, an outstanding cigar maker. Thank you very much. It was a true honor. It was a pleasure. It was a big moment in our show. There's still so many things to speak about, but unfortunately we limit the show to an hour. If not, we can continue all night and the rest of the week. But we're going to have to cut it for today. We send you our appreciation. We send you our love. We hope that you'll accept to come back on the show very soon again. But in the meantime, we wish you the best. And to everybody out there, happy Fuente Friday. Have a wonderful weekend. Stay safe. Take care of each other and of others. Bye-bye for now.
Bye-bye, guys.
Nestor, por
Thank
favor,
you.
dale un fuerte abrazo a tu papá y a toda tu familia, hermano. De verdad que, y para ti también, porque la verdad que te quiero, te admiro y te respeto. Mucho éxito, mi hermano. Digas, sí, siempre siendo guajiro de corazón, porque eso es algo muy digno.
Muchas gracias.
Nestor, Andres, thank you for everything. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you very much. I'm so honored for the invitation. Thank you very much, and be safe and keep enjoying life every day of our life. Thank you very much.
It was amazing hearing from you, Nestor. Abrazo, man.
Un abrazo. Gracias.
Thank you.
Bye-bye. Thank you very much. Bye-bye for now.